Okay, we have the ZINOMINI Pro. Yes, the ZINOMINI Pro. Not a great fan of it because you don't have video feed right away. You have to wait for 9 satellites. We're ready to go. That got them pretty quick compared to the ZINOMINI SE. It took forever. Let's get this up and we're going to do some experimenting. It's minus 12 degrees Celsius. So up there, 40-50 meters, is going to be minus 12, minus 14, 15, something like that. Let's get it up.
Non-obstacle avoidance mode. Please fly with caution.
Yeah. Okay, it's pretty solid. Just get it up a little bit. Okay, let's see if we can hold it there for a bit. Okay, let's get into the settings now. Change it to video. Okay, in the settings, first we're going to go to 4K 30. Everything's there. But notice one thing. HDR is turned on automatically. So we're going to leave it there for now. We're going to switch between. You'll notice that the horizon is off a little bit. So let's go turn around. See if we can get that horizon to balance out a bit. Okay. There we go. Maybe. Let's go up. Let's go up. Okay, we're going to start that video. We'll get about 45 meters. Okay. Horizon's not too bad. Start that video. Okay, we're going to go out and around. And this is HDR, so I don't know what's going to happen with it, but we're 4K 30 frames per second. I've got the 1.3.9 software on it, firmware, and we're going to look at that while we take the video here, and I'll do it in the background while the video is playing. And we're going to go to the version number on 1.3.9 and 1.1.6 on the controller. Okay, here we go. Just going to go out and around. We have 96%. Well, I charged the battery up last night, so it's not holding 100%. Let's see how much we get. If this one discharges more than the ZINOMINI SE does. Okay, let's turn it around a bit. It seems to be more responsive to the stick than the SE. Turn around. I'm coming back there. Horizon's off a little bit, but there we go. See how much we get. I thought I formatted the card or formatted the board before I started, but we'll see how much we get. We ran out on the SE for video. That's enough of that one. So now let's just change it. We'll turn that video off. I'm going to turn off the HDR. See how it brightens it up a little bit? Let's see what happens there. Okay. Let's see if it's any different. This is full automatic. Head out towards that little lake over there on the right, which is all iced over, obviously, because it's minus cold. 47 meters up, let's go up to 50. There we go. And we go over there, and we're going to back up and come back. And this is all at 4K 30. Coming back now. There's a little beep on the controller, I don't know why. It's coming back, we're at 89%. There it is. Okay, stop that. Okay, let's go in there. We're going to change it to 2.7 at 30. Okay, let's try that one. So this is 2.7 at 30 with HDR off. Let's turn around. Look at the lake out there. And we'll head out. I'm looking to see if it's any better or any worse. 87%. Somebody's got some equipment going. I hear a buzzing sound. Let's head out. They're at 54 meters. Yeah, the screen's pretty dark. So we've got about a minute on that. We're down to 86%. Okay. We'll just head a little bit farther, maybe 500 meters. And it's cold. I do have gloves. On one hand anyway. I was doing the SE this morning and oh my goodness, my hands were just cold. So let's see how this does. We're looking for Jello and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to stop that there. Stop that video. And we're going to put HDR on. You can only do HDR in 4K. Okie dokie. So let's go, and we're going to go to 60 frames per second. Okay. So this is 60 frames per second. As it says, 60 frames per second at 2.7K. I'm going to go out a little bit further. And we're up at 54, 55 meters. Okay, 2.7, 60 frames per second. We're out there. What's that look like over there? I like that little lake, it's beautiful. Okay, so you can only do HDR in 4K. Interesting, let's back it up. Now the ZINOMINI Pro, it does fly very well, handles very well. I just have an awkwardness about it for the way you have to get the video, and have some problems with mushiness, and I've been trying to tell them, can they put H.264 just to test it, just to see if it does make a difference. Because at a distance, focal distance, it mushes the trees. It used to. They've changed some settings on the HDR, and I'm hoping it does help, but I won't know until I get the video off it, which I can't really do easily. I have to plug it into the computer and download it to another computer and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, maybe there was a little bit of Jello there. I'll have to see. Now some people have a lot of problems with the Jello, but we're going to turn around, head back towards us. There, come back. This is 2.7 at 60. Then we're going to go to there we go. Okay. Coming back. Should be able to see it pretty soon now. Yep, there it is. Okay, stop that video. Then we're going to look in here. Look at the PIDs if I can. Gimbal PIDs. Advanced settings, PIDs. That's what they are. Okay, that's the PIDs. Okay, I'm going to cut in here and talk about these PIDs for a second. Now, these are two different PIDs here. The one on the top are a set of PIDs that was sent by HUBSAN to a gentleman named Kevin Sullivan. He's also got a YouTube channel called Caper Couple. And he had Jello issues. Sent his log files to HUBSAN and they said, change your PIDs to these. And it worked for him. Now, the lower image are the PIDs you just saw that's on my drone and come with version 1.3.9. Now, I have heard that before 1.3.9, these PIDs were different. So if anybody has any different PIDs from 1.3.8 or 1.3.5, let me know, send them to me, and I'm going to try them all out, see if something works. Okay? So as it is now, we're going to go back to the video where we took off. We're just looking at the PIDs, and I'm going to explore that possibility later about changing them and see how the flights go. And I'll do that in another flight. So get out of that. So we're going to go in here. Now we know we're at 2.7. Let's go to 1080p. That's 30. Start that video. I'm going to put my glove back on because it's cold. Glove in the hand. Okay. So let's go forward. Got my gloves on. Head out towards that lake again. We're down at 72%. Battery life is really good. I mean, I cannot complain about the battery life. And the range is exceptional as well for out here. So, there we go. So this is 1080p at 30. Okay. So there you go. Now I'm going to change it to 1080p at 60. So we're going to go 1080p at 60. Start that video. Put my glove back on. And come back. And it does pretty well at speed limits. I'm not into film or sport mode. I'm just regular flying. It's in N mode or normal. This is the ZINOMINI Pro. Coming back full stick pretty fast. 8.7, 8.3. Generally about 8. There we are. Let's turn that around. Look at the lake. There's the lake again. I'm going to stop that video. Down to 67%. Okay, let's put the video down to 720. We'll go 60 frames per second on this one, just for kicks and giggles. Okay, get my glove back on if I can, because it is freezing cold. And let's push that button. There we go. So this is 720 at 60 frames per second. And we're heading out the lake again. Head out that way and we'll head up a little bit. We'll go up about 75 meters or so. Pretty close, there we go. And that's 720p at 60 frames per second. Now this is all H.265. So that's my only issue with that, is that I just have a hard time processing H.265. But that's me, because I've got old computer equipment. And that's on the list for this year, is to get some new video editing equipment. But we'll have to see how that goes. Okay, that's enough of that. Turn it around. There we go, we can head back. Coming back 5, 6, 7 or 8 meters per second. It's full stick. Down to 62% on the battery. I'm going to finish this off at 2.7K at 30. Okay, we'll do an orbit or something. Down to 200 and we'll go to 100. Where's the 100 meter mark? We'll stop there. Okay, stop that video. We'll go into here. We'll go into 2.7K at 60. Okay, well, let's drop this camera down a bit. Okay, come forward a bit, so we'll go about 100 meters, just over. Here we go. And drop that camera. Here we go. Now let's do a orbit around the transmitter. Execute immediately. Go all the way up. Here we go. So if we hit that again, there we go. Start the video. Okay, so we're at 2.7 at 60. And we're going around the house. Get my glove back on because it is just ridiculously cold. Drop that camera a bit. There we go. Thank goodness I put gloves on this time. Man. It's going around. I like that transmitter center thing. Just around me, what I'm looking at. But I can also pick a spot as well. It's going around the house at 75 meters up. Pretty good. It's kind of behind me now, so I kind of don't know where I'm going to point the antennas up to it somewhere. I'll walk out a little bit here. Yeah, it has a funny way of the transmission to the controller is not as, I don't think it's quite as good as the Mini SE, because when I did the orbit with the Mini SE, I was inside the garage and it just went around no problem at all. So this is going around, but it's high, it's 75 meters up, so see what happens. There it goes. And it's 3 meters per second. So that's as fast as you can go. And you can slide it the other way to a -3 and it'll go counterclockwise. We're down to 52%. And just by judging of my fingertips, it's not doing as good on the battery as the SE. Not quite. But there's a 5-minute difference. So the SE this morning down to 34%. I got about a half an hour, almost a half an hour. And at -12 degrees, that's pretty good. So this one, I'm probably looking at getting about 20 minutes. So we'll see when I get back inside. But my eyes are starting to water. And as the water trickles down my face, it's starting to freeze. So it's pretty cold. But my fingers aren't blue like they were before because I've got gloves on. There it goes. It's still going around. Still going around. We're down to 48%. And then we're going to try 1080p at 60 and go down the road a little bit. See what that looks like. Okay, so we're down to 47%. going to stop this video pretty soon, or stop the orbit. Okay, so let's stop the orbit. There we go. Stop the video. Go into that. And we're going to change it to 1080p at 60. Start the video again. And we're going to bring the camera up. There we go. And go down. Go down there. 45%. When we hit 40%, we'll bring it home. Head down that way. As I said, the subdivision's really built up in the last year. See how far we go. There we go. I see it. And head out this way. On the way back, maybe we'll go back to 4K and put HDR on, see if that makes any difference. Okay, so let's stop there. Stop that video. Go back into a 4K. 4K. And we'll go to HDR. There we go. Let's start that video. And we'll keep on going. Battery level low, 40%. Okay, let's do a return to home.
Return to home.
Put my glove back on. So you notice that beeping? You just have to press and hold the function button. And it goes off. So it's returning, it's at 39%, and you know, for some reason the battery does not hold out as well as the SE. So it's up above me now, and we're probably going to land about the same, about 34-35%. And it points in the direction that it took off. It's coming down. Still pretty accurate though. It's within a meter or so, from what I can gather. It's up there. Let's see if I can cancel that.
Cancel return.
Cancel return. Just put my gloves on and off again. Takes some time, but let's just keep on flying. Bring that camera up a bit. And up. It seems to be a lot faster.
The voltage is too low. Please land as soon as possible.
So we gotta come home.
Return to home.
Return to home. And it's going up again. I don't want it to go up again.
The voltage is too low. Please land as soon as possible.
Okay, I will. There it comes. Bring the camera down a bit. There we go.
The voltage is too low. Please land as soon as possible.
Yeah, this battery does not last as long as the SE, so must be a lot of processing power in there. I guess when it's doing all the memory work on board, or all the video stuff on board. It's coming down. That's pretty good. It's 30% probably. but we'll stop that.
Cancel return.
And we'll stop the video.
Landing.
So what have we learned? Yeah, the Zino Mini Pro. Well, the specs are about bang on with the time for flight. It's about 5 or 6 minutes short of the Mini SE. Other than that, what have we learned? Well, so far, I'm not really impressed with the cold weather flight of this. The coloring, the focus, the horizon, the Jello, not great. I haven't explored changing the PIDs, but for the average person, why would you have to dive into the specs and change things and the PIDs, and why would you have to do all that? It's an annoyance, and it's something that HUBSAN is aware of, obviously, because of what I showed you earlier, and they did give some specific PID settings for Cape Cooper or Kevin Sullivan, and I thank him again for sending that information to me. And again, if anybody has any information on specific PIDs that have worked for you, let me know. Let's share it. Okay. Again, I will say I have no love lost for the Zino Mini Pro, but predominantly I think I'll stick with the ZINOMINI SE. It seems to be performing very well. To say that the Mini Pro has a much larger sensor and should be getting way better results in less light, I'm not impressed. So that was just a quick long video about all the formats in really cold weather. And yes, it was minus 15 degrees Celsius. It was cold. So till next time, take care. And the next video is going to be when I put all these together and do a compilation of the two of them, basically side by side, so we can see what really happens. But then again, if you go back and forth between these two videos, and I'll put a link up in the description about the first video. Till next time, take care and be safe. Thank you.